We are live on the Hawks Sports Network here from Humber College North Campus. The Hawks Nest, OCAA women's volleyball. The Cambrian Golden Shield on the road against the Humber Hawks. Matt Hamill alongside Kyle Dalton. Kyle, this is one of the last remaining games of the OCAA regular season. How do you expect this matchup to play out here today?
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the Hawks come out and play this one, because they do have a big game coming up next week on Saturday against the first place Fanshawe Falcons. I'm sure they're thinking about that one in the back of their minds, but I'm sure focusing on this one ahead of them here against the Cambrian Golden Shield. And last game against Boreal, we didn't see many of the starters for the Hawks. We saw a lot of the reserves playing, players like Danielle Miles and Adina Wickstrom. And we saw Julia Watson didn't have a lot of playing time to go along with Kyla Wilkins. So it'll be interesting to see how head coach Chris Wilkins decide to use his reserves and his starters here tonight.
There's a good look at the Humber bench with Coach Wilkins in the background there. And yeah, yesterday, very empowering performance against the Boreal Vipers. 3 straight sets win. And like you mentioned, with a bit of a different rotating cast of characters, not the usual suspect. We saw Kristanisic on the sideline. And no Kyla Wilkins, or the Kyla Wilkins. We did see very limited playing time, so not too sure what coach has drawn up. We'll find out pretty soon here. Should be a nice afternoon of volleyball. Of course, the men's game taking place right after the conclusion of this game here, scheduled for 2 o'clock. And we'll step away for the national anthem and be right back for the player intros.
Today's matchup will feature the Cambrian Golden Shield and your Humber Hawks. We ask that you please rise if you are able and remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem by Humber's own Priya Wilkins.
Now we'll just step aside for the player introductions as introduced by SAA President Josh Batcher. Player intros, and by the looks of it, Kyle, looks like we're going to get a more typical lineup. See Kyla Wilkins starting the game here, so maybe yesterday just one of those rare opportunities to work as many players in as possible, and here on Sunday against the Golden Shield, back to business as usual.
Yeah, it could have been just the rest day for some of the regulars for head coach Chris Wilkins, but like you said, he's in full mode here today, getting all his big guns starting this game.
Kyle, how about that rendition of the national anthem by the younger Wilkins sibling, Kriya?
It was pretty
magnificent.
She was here yesterday as well, and that was awesome to see.
Followed up that performance, and here we go. Get things started with the serve from Bartman. Teed up now for Adina Wickstrom, and the first point of the Humber Hawks will come from number 15, first-year player Adina Wickstrom.
And Wickstrom has stepped into this role without Alex Krastonisic in the lineup. Adina did play well yesterday as well. She gets off to a good start here.
And on such a high-level Humber team, first-year player like Wickstrom maybe doesn't see the kind of playing time that she's used to, but stepped in here, had a good performance. That time, the Hawks, with a self-inflicted wound, can't get it over the net. Tie things up at 1.
Isabel Rivest now serving for Cambrian.
That serve had just a little too much on it right from the get-go. The Hawks knew that was going out. Now it's Olivia Foley. It's all taped up, as you can see. Put the ball in play. Block attempt. Gets by Humber, but saved by Kyla Wilkins. There's Watson with a big hit. And Wickstrom will hit, but the Golden Shield are nailed with the net violation.
That looked like Tegan Langus, the net violation. The Hawks will definitely take that one. Lead 3-1 here.
Foley put this thing back in play. Ooh, just hangs on the net. Generates all kind of English, and then too hot to handle for Cambrian. Another point.
Tough break there for the Golden Shield. That ball just getting over after touching the net.
Foley. Good run of serves here. Another one gets over. Ooh.
And a good spot there from Olivia Foley, finding that back right corner and drains it. No chance for Cambrian.
So, number 10, Olivia Foley, with her 4th consecutive serve. Dialed in right off the jump here on Sunday. And I think I jinxed it. Sails out of bounds.
Maybe a little this Sunday. Odd start, 12 o'clock. We usually get the 1 and 3 o'clock on the weekends, but today we got the 12 and 2.
Well, it looks like no matter what time of day, the Humber Hawks came ready to ball out. Another hit by Wickstrom generates another point.
Yeah, she got the tip off the front there. Tough to handle for the Cambrian back there as Roselle Falcomer checks in.
And you see Kyla Wilkins heads to the bench for the rotation, and in her place, like you said, Falcomer. Teed up there for Watson. Wow.
Just missing there. That's her spot, going cross court with that left hand, and just missed it.
Yeah, Watson really is that premier hitter on this Humber women's team.
Now she leads her team in kills with 96.
Here's Falcomer set up. Soft touch, blocked by the Golden Shield. Foley coming in from the back court. Bit of a free ball here.
Another free ball, this time for Humber.
Big shot. Whistle blown. Point awarded to Cambrian.
And they're coming back here. A little bit of a run here for the Golden Shield. 6-4.
The Golden Shield led by 28th year head coach Dale Beausoleil.
That's a lot of years.
No doubt. Well, almost matched by Humber's head coach Chris Wilkins in his 24th year.
A couple veterans here, and the point's going to get reversed over to Humber. So you can take away that point in the run there for Cambrian. As the Golden Shield's looking for answers.
Number 8, Julia Watson.
Over the net. Ooh, tricky little play. And point goes to the Golden Shield. Rosella Falcomer just kind of popped it up, and no Hawks came to help her out.
That was a bit of an odd play there, as Cambrian didn't mean to put that over on the second hit, and Falcomer, slow misplay there, and Cambrian pick up the point.
Here's Emily Clark with the serve. Set up here for Falcomer. Good hit, fielded by the visiting team. Another hit by Falcomer.
No, tough break there. Just going over the net. A little bit of confusion there, miscommunication. And Cambrian pick up a point here.
Now that's 2 plays in a row where the Hawks had just kind of watched the ball drop. So little early communication issues here.
That one just going right over the net.
And as we mentioned, just a few games left here in the regular season. Big matchup on the road against the Fanshawe Falcons.
And this is, sorry, go ahead, Matt.
Well, for Falcons being #1 team in the province, so Hawks are going to want to shape up and be really bringing their best game as we head into February.
For sure, it was a tough 4th set loss earlier in the year when Fanshawe came here.
Lots of controversy.
There's only one more home game for the Humber Hawks. That's against Niagara on the 6th of February.
And the Hawks will welcome the Knights. That shot by Clark kind of misteed up.
Yeah, Clark, she's still looking for her first point of this one. She leads her team in points per set at 3.8 and 7th in the league to go with it. Put up here and miss hit there for the Cambrian Golden Shield, as Jade Gauthier couldn't handle that one. And Emma Heaney continues to serve. 9-6 lead for Humber.
Heaney puts it in play. Oh, just a tough setup there. Nobody home for the Golden Shield. Point goes to Humber.
Yeah, missed setup there. You mentioned it. Hawks will definitely take that one and look to grow their lead here at Mahini. 3 straight serves now.
Heaney just gets it over. Good job by Cambrian to get under it. Set up now for Foley. Good block. And a miss hit. 4 touches, and the point goes to Humber.
Good block there by Isabel Rivas to keep that play alive, but Humber ended up with the point, and we're going to get a timeout here on the floor from the Golden Shield.
Today is part of the Bell Let's Talk partnership with Collegiate Athletics. Really great cause, and we'll see after the game, both teams will likely get the Bell Let's Talk toques on and take a picture. Great cause. Of course, that is in partnership with the Student Athletic Association, Hawks Nation, here at every Humber home game.
It's a great program. It begins on January 30th with all the donations that Bell make. So it's always a great program, happens every year, and donate a lot of money for a good cause.
Yeah, no doubt. And the teams will break the huddle. Humber Hawks have a 5-point lead and just looking to keep cruising along here.
And it's been really back and forth right now so far. And this one, Humber going on a little bit of a run here. That's why you saw that timeout from the Golden Shield trying to end it. As Emma Heaney is back on the service line, her 4th straight.
Seen that from a few Hawks here, getting on a run at the serve line. And once we see teams establish a 5-point cushion like the Hawks, it's not often that we see teams come back from that. But obviously have to keep the foot on the gas pedal as we get a big hit from Clark that just sails out of bounds.
And you mentioned it, once that Humber Hawks team gets on that run, they're tough to stop. And the Golden Shield have been experienced that so far as they're down by 6.
That one gets over, but just outside and to the right. Point given up to the Shield.
Number 6, OCAA.
Serve coming up. 2 Hawks going for it there, but they're able to get control. Big hit from Foley.
Yeah, right off the net, out of the reach of Clark there. And Olivia Foley picks up the point, and Rosella Falcomer, number 12, will serve for Humber.
In her first year with the Hawks by way of Verona, Italy.
That one just long.
Yeah, she's used to hitting it hard up front at the net. That time, just a little too much on it from the line. It's Maggie Little. First-year player for the Golden Shield. Puts it into the net. Point for Humber.
And the Golden Shield ranked 17th in the league when it comes to service errors. They're giving up a lot of points on the line.
Chipped up here. Wilkins going to get a nice setup for Foley. Kept alive by Cambrian. Watson just has to volley it over. Good rally here. Kept up by Wilkins. Watson again with a big hit. Good block.
Oh, what a play.
Yeah, the Golden Shield went for the quick tip. That was Isabel Rivest, but Olivia Foley right there. Block for the easy point. Here's a second look.
Great play here. Kept alive. A couple nice plays. Julia Watson there. Eventually, Foley ended up with a point.
Wilkins chips it up. Foley, big hit. Ooh, doesn't get it over the net.
She was winding up for that one and just missed it. Looking to get back on the board.
Rivest is without ball, and yeah, here she is. Into the net, going to give the point right back to Humber, who are now leading by 7.
That's a tough break there for the Golden Shield. Just picked up a point, trying to stop the momentum, and to give it right back on a service error is not what they were looking for at all.
Olivia Foley had some couple good serves earlier on and can't quite tap back into that as she puts her first one off and to the right. Marissa Beeson, rookie. A lot of first-year players on this Cambrian team. Got to think that makes it tough to match up against the Humber squad, who's really led by, you know, granted, Hawks have a lot of first-year players, but really have that core leadership group of experienced players, namely Kyla Wilkins and Julia Watson.
And Mahaney with that group as well. Those three and really carried that leadership role.
Kept alive here. And put over. Now set up. Adina Wickstrom just misses the back line.
Yeah, that setup was just behind her. Not able to get all of it. Just out of bounds. Lofty hit there.
Beeson. Chipped up for Wickstrom with the soft touch. Good block. Kept alive by Foley right at the net here. Watson with a big hit. Soft touch
What a play
again.
there. Watson keeping it alive.
Good rally here, Kyle.
Free ball here for Humber.
Just kind of chip deep. Heaney, wow. Puts an end to that rally with an absolute laser.
And it was all that defense, Humber keeping the ball alive. Julie Watson, Olivia Foley up there as well, keeping that ball alive. Eventually, Emma Heaney coming up with a big hit.
And we see both teams kind of mixing it up, going for the power hits, the soft touches, trying to catch people off guard. Humber Hawks doing a good job of staying focused. We get a service ace from Adina Wickstrom.
And she stepped up in the absence of Alex Kristanisic. Last game playing very well. And today doing the same with a couple big hits and a service ace to go along with it.
And when she's not playing volleyball, she's helping out with our sports info broadcast team. That time the Hawks aren't able to get under it. A good hit by Cambrian.
Jade Gauthier coming up with a big hit out of the reach of Foley there. And that ends that long run.
Cambrian College located up in Sudbury. Long drive on a snowy Sunday. We think we might have a lift violation.
We're going to get a couple subs here. Nearing the end of the first set. Lauren Schneider coming in.
Schneider and Sally Newen. And right away, Schneider gonna get into the game with a serve. First-year player with Schneider and does a great job getting it over. Jade Gauthier hits it over for Cambrian. Teed up now for Heaney. Oh, one of those miscommunications. A lot of Golden Shield players in the area. Nobody goes for it.
Jade Gauthier just out of the reach of her going after it. Can't come up with it. And we're going to get a late timeout here from the Golden Shields trying to salvage this first set.
They're down by 7. And there's Chris Wilkins coaching up Olivia Foley. She's done great here in set 1. She's got 4 digs and 2 kills.
Yeah, she's been solid. Looks like he's talking more about the defensive side of the ball. Like you said, she's played well, coming up with some big points for Humber. Well, some good defensive play to go along with it.
And there's another player-coach conference going on between Dale Bolasale and Maggie Little. We'll break the huddle soon, and the Hawks look to just keep cruising along, keep this winning momentum. They had a big day yesterday against Boreal. On the season, the Hawks are 11-3. Tough loss to Fanshawe and 2 losses to St. Clair. Humber dropping the season matchup against the Saints, the St. Clair Saints, 0-2.
And Humber will have a chance to beat Fanshawe, team that they lost to earlier in the year, like you mentioned, on next Saturday in Fanshawe. A good test for them before the playoffs kicks in.
Fanshawe leading the province. Only lost 4 sets all season, a perfect 14-0. Hawks have having a good 2019, the second half to the season so far, riding a 3-game win streak. Schneider tees it up. Heaney with a great hit.
Good setup there by Schneider coming into the game, and Emma Heaney comes up with a big hit. Now she'll be serving. Looking to go on another run here. Try to end this one as 21-14.
Once again, you see that 7-point lead for Humber. Gauthier, good hit. Hawks able to keep it alive. Wilkins sets up for Heaney. A missed tip at the net really doesn't give Cambrian any chance at that point.
Yeah, Emily Clark, number 11 for Cambrian, really had no chance after that tip. Humber 3 points away from picking up this first set.
Again, we'd like to remind you that the men's game is coming up right at the conclusion. The fellas are taking on the Golden Shield. Good hit there. Gauthier. The Golden Shield really seem to be teeing up Jade Gauthier a lot. She might be their go-to hitter, she's going to get a chance to serve here. Deep breath and in play. Foley stepping up. We've seen her really, step up into some ferocious shots, but again, hits it into the net. Had a bit of a problem here connecting on those shots.
Yeah, that one just missing. But the presence of some of the big blockers for Cambrian coming into play here.
Yeah, namely Maggie Little. She's 5'11", really a presence up front. Wow. Falcomer doing what she does best, just putting a lot on that shot.
Yeah, tough to handle there for Emily Clark. It's Falcomer with the big hit. Hawks 2 points away from picking up this first set victory.
Here. Campagna finds the line. Looked like the visiting team kind of not really aware of their position on the court.
Yeah, LeBrash there, number 9. It's kind of in confusion, didn't know if she should play it or not.
Why don't Campagna up to Newen, and a nice hit by Sally Newen. And we'll have the conclusion of the set. The Humber Hawks taking the first stanza by a score of 25-16. And Kyle, what do you like from the Humber Hawks right away here?
Well, it was really an all-around great performance in that first set. It looks like it was close, but really it felt like Humber was in full control of that set the whole time. And really some key players stepped up. Kyla Wilkins barely played. She only played in a couple rallies last game versus Boreal. She made a huge impact already in this game, coming up with some big digs as well, and really carrying her team when it comes to leadership as well. And it's showing on the floor.
Great shot there of the Humber meeting in between sets here. And yeah, Kyla Wilkins really is just such an important part of this Humber team. She's really miss everything, can keep every ball alive, set people up, and just fearless, especially when they're taking on those teams with really good hitting. Kyla Wilkins just seems to sacrifice the body, always give her teammates a good chance to get a hit, and she'll be important going forward here into the playoff portion of the season.
Now she leads the league in digs, which is obviously a huge mark when it comes to the playoff margin, because you need that defensive player that can come up with the big digs in key situations, and her team definitely trusts her to do that.
And some good hitting by Falcomer. Foley with a good hit there. Foley with another big play at the net. And yeah, we've seen Emma Heaney cut loose on some shots. Kyle, pretty interesting storyline in the men's game coming up. We saw Humber, arguably one of their best players who's been injured all season, Dylan Devasheri, return to the lineup and really make a big impact.
Yeah, he made a huge impact with 16 kills in that win over Boreal, and just the energy he brings to the team really makes a difference. Obviously some key players playing well in his absence that maybe have to take a lesser role because of Devasheri coming back, and just the impact that he makes with his team is huge, because a team like Fanshawe for the men's team is obviously very powerful, and if you can bring in a guy like Devin Devasheri, it can make a big difference.
Now it looks like the Hawks may be battling some injuries. We see Trinity Lougheed with her, I believe, left wrist. Yeah, her left wrist is all casted up, and that's a tough loss for Humber. Lougheed wears number 1 for the Hawks, and she'll check into the game and really bring some good relief at that front line.
And Alex Krasnosic not playing the last couple games. We're still not sure the reason for that, and obviously Adina Wickstrom has stepped up in her place and come up with some big hits.
Alex Krasnosic with the trademark braids. And we're going to get things going. Isabel Rivas with the opening serve of set number 2 here in the Hawks Nest, OCAA women's volleyball. I'll tell you what, pretty good spin on that serve, but just a little too long.
Now serving for the Hawks, number 12,
Rosella Falcomer, fan favorite here in the Hawks Nest, and there's the serve in play. Kept alive. Heaney's just going to tip it up to Watson. Hawks dump it over. Here's Cambrian with a chance. Falcomer keeps it alive. Normally we see her up front at the net.
And a couple free balls here for Cambrian and see if they can take advantage of it.
Foley with the soft touch. Good rally here. We saw the Hawks win the first point of set number 1, and then the Golden Shield coming right back, and similar storyline. We're all tied up here at 1-1.
And Langus coming up with the big block and a couple good defensive plays from the Hawks. Unable to come up with the point after that. Cambrian ties this one at 1.
Set up here for Wickstrom. Tell you what, she's been hitting a pretty high percentage here. Adina Wickstrom has been just making good on her chances.
Yeah, she's been good, like I mentioned before, in the absence of Kristanisic. First-year player has stepped up in a role that maybe she didn't expect coming into this season. Making most of the opportunity.
Gauthier, pretty good hit there, as the Golden Shield refusing to get in a hole here at the start of the second set.
Yeah, Gauthier coming up with her 3rd kill. It's really her and Emily Clark, the 2 big hitters for the Golden Shield.
Good second look there. Ball's in play, set up here for Watson. Second chance, there it is, Julia Watson. Back-to-back hits.
Yeah, good recognition there. Miss hit from the Golden Shield, and it comes right back to Watson, who makes no mistake.
And Olivia Foley, with every tensor bandage available this side of the Mississippi, appears to be on her left leg. Wilkins sets it up. Oh, that time Watson, after a good hit last point, puts it right into the net. Both teams just trading points here in the second, Kyle.
That's really been back and forth right now, and we mentioned before in that first set, when Humber gets on that run, they're tough to stop. We'll see how Cambrian reacts after that first set. Lost 25-16.
And time again, once Humber pulls away, they're really hard to catch up to. But now look at Cambrian College. They have their first lead of the game. And that time, Golden Shield sailed that one out of bounds. Now it's Adina Wickstrom. In play here. And Watson will just have to dump it over. Big block attempt. Ooh, the Hawks get called for the net violation.
Yeah, it looked like Olivia Foley there, or excuse me, Alex Bartman on that one. Cambrian get their lead back, it's 5-4.
It looked like Bartman kind of turned to the official and gave him the hairy eyeball. I don't think she was under the impression that she committed that foul. In any event, the Cambrian Golden Shield are back with the lead. Not for long, though. Julia Watson, the powerful hit.
A great hit there from Julia Watson, finding the middle there and dropping it in with the kill. Now she will be serving.
Looks up to the sky. Gauthier keeps it alive. Should be a good chance for Humber. Falcomer. There she is. Falcomer. She's fired up.
Yeah, she came in running there. Off the block and out of bounds. Julia Watson continues to serve here. Hawks lead by 1.
Bit more power on that serve from Watson. Ooh, and Hawks are just out of position. So real back and forth play here. We're all tied up at 6.
That Clark with a good hit there. Caught the back line for the Hawks a little bit too far back and drops it right in.
That serve is much too long.
Now serving number 5,
Emma Heaney going to try to extend the Humber lead. Teed up now for Foley. Kept alive. Wilkins in perfect position. Foley with a second shot. Teed up for Julia Watson. Wow, what a rally.
Good rally, yeah,
man.
back and forth.
And the
Looks like a net violation on the Golden Shield. And a good rally. The Hawks come away with the point. 8-6 lead. See if Humber can grow this lead.
Heaney puts it into the net. Some uncharacteristic play, or maybe the Golden Shield have really stepped up here, making this a hard-fought second set. That one serve heads right to Coach Wilkins. And now Humber is up by 2. We'll see if maybe this is their window of opportunity with Falcomer at the service line to maybe create some separation and put this second set away. Watson tees it up, and a quick play by Bartman. That shot beats the blockers. Foley, seen it a few times, a missed hit, and I'm not too sure. Yeah, Foley's going to be checking out of the game here.
Yeah, Danielle Miles comes in. Foley unable to get up just in time as Danielle Miles named the player of the game yesterday. Came up with a lot of big kills, and she checks into this one.
Yeah, pretty good strategy by Coach Wilkins to sub her in here. And right away, good hit.
Get her going right away.
Wickstrom, got to give credit to this front line of the Golden Shield. They have been blocking a lot of good shots. Watson totally mishit that one.
When your defense comes up with a lot of blocks, it could be frustrating for that offensive team. And I think that's what the Golden Shield are trying to accomplish here. A couple big blocks from Gauthier and Clark.
And that 2-point lead has now vanished, or knotted up at 9. Miles, soft touch. Free ball for the Hawks. Uh-oh. Miles just has to scramble to get it over. That one beats Kyla Wilkins. Kyle, looks like this set might be the Golden Shield if they keep this up.
And we saw a little bit of a miscommunication there. When you said that, uh-oh, it almost looked like that ball was going to fall. Kyla Wilkins just came in and grabbed it, but you mentioned the Golden Shield, their first lead here.
And we saw that twice in set number 1. The Hawks just kind of having that miscommunication, nobody going for it. So just a little signs that the Hawks are maybe kind of out of sync. Good hit from Adina Wickstrom.
Wickstrom. Now serving number 16,
Alex Bartman. Set up here for the Hawks. Watson, wow, what a shot.
What a hit there from Julia Watson, just out of the reach of a couple of the Cambrian defenders.
And they did the best they could to keep it alive, but ultimately will sail out of bounds. Just another big shot from number 8, Julia Watson. Bartman with the serve. Sails that one out of bounds.
And just missing that back line.
Hawks Nation is the official varsity fan club of the Humber Hawks. And they're here at every home game. They got the popcorn machine fired up for the price of on the house. Okay, Humber gets under it here. Heaney, big shot, out of bounds.
Just missing there, but a good help defense. But just before that, by Alex Bartman coming in helping that front line. But Emma Heaney just missing the line, and Cambrian get their lead back. It's 12-11.
Watson with another point. Here's a second look. Teed up by Bartman, and again, good blocking effort by the visiting team, but Julia Watson able to break through the defenders on that one. We see her do that time and time again. Gauthier hits it into the net.
Great block going up there as well. Julia Watson and Wickstrom getting the Humber lead right back.
Miles. Oh, great hit.
Called it just in there. Could have gone either way. That was pretty close.
Well, the Hawks aren't disputing it.
Emily Clark serving for the Gold Shield.
Watson put so much on that one. Cambrian didn't have a chance.
Another big hit just out of the reach of the diving Beeson for the Golden Shield. Set up nicely there from Bartman. Julia Watson makes no mistake.
Just a powerful athlete is number 8, Julia Watson. Teed up again by Falcomer. Not the greatest setup. This time Falcomer with a chance. Finds an open space.
And his little tip over. Doesn't do that often. This time it works out. 15-13 lead, and Wickstrom now serving.
No, you get the impression that Falcomer prefers to just put the hammer down and really tee up on that ball at the front of the net. That time the soft touch gets it done. Gauthier blocked. Watson
just put over back and forth.
Another one of those miscues up front by Humber. A little concerning here, Kyle. We mentioned we're heading towards the end of the season. You want to be firing on all cylinders as Cambrian picks up the point there. And so far we've seen a little bit of an uneasy vibe from the Hawks.
And again, it could be that little mismatch here. We haven't seen a lot of Wickstrom play this season other than the last couple of games. Danielle Miles as well has played a lot recently. Just trying to get used to some new players.
Yeah, some different parts involved, and that kind of messes with the game plan a bit. Tough to get everybody on the same page, get that chemistry dialed in. And nowhere is that more true than with the men's team. You know, it's a funny, we were mentioning last night, it's a good problem to have, having Dylan Devasheri back in the lineup, but the Hawks were really playing some good volleyball. So do you almost mess with that chemistry in adding a new player to the mix? Of course, Dylan Devasheri is a pretty spectacular player, good guy to add at any point in the season.
And like you said, it's a pretty good problem to have, I would say the least.
Get a second look here as the Hawks pick up the go-ahead point. Big shot from Heaney. Blocked and out of bounds. Emma Heaney. Good power on that serve. Golden Shield can't get under it.
Yeah, miss hit there from Allison LaBrache, and we're going to get a timeout here for the Golden Shield as they had a 1-point lead just moments ago, and now it's a 3-point lead for Humber.
And it looks like maybe the Hawks are turning on the afterburners at the right time here as we head into the end of the set. 3-point lead. There's a good look at the coaching staff for the Golden Shield, led by Dale Bolasale.
To there, Chris Wilkins just giving some information here. Be interesting to see how Humber comes out of this timeout. With 7 points away from picking up this second set victory and getting that much closer to the sweep.
And there's a great shot of Julia Watson. She has been playing dynamite this afternoon, as usual. You've got to hydrate, Kyle.
And she has 4 kills in this one to go along with her 6 digs. She's played very well after having sort of a night off yesterday against Boreal. Coming in here with a good solid show so far.
Just saying, Emma Heaney ready to get things going. Falcomer was calling for it.
Instead they go to Danielle Miles on the far side. Works out anyway.
Miles with a great hit. But you got to like the enthusiasm from Falcomer. She wants to hit. Something she does very well. And service ace to a jubilant Humber Hawks team.
Okay. In my estimation, I'm overruling anyway. I thought compression of the ball made contact with the line anyway. So the ball is staying in. Yes. Yep. Well, she called in and she called it out.
Can kind of make out what the official is saying as we have the meeting there. Great mic placement. And the resolution is going to remain in favor of the Hawks. They're up by 5. Kept alive here. Miles, wow, big shot. Tipped and point for the Hawks. And if you're Cambrian, you really have to really be a little upset. You let this one slide away, just neck and neck all the way through. And then as we got into the later stages, Humber just pulling away.
It's that last run from Humber here late. A little bit of confusion here. Cambrian thought it was long, but it actually got tipped and then went long. So Humber came up with the point, and we're going to get another timeout here from the Golden Shield as they are down by 6.
And the head coach for the Golden Shield shooting the stink eye over towards the official. I guess he doesn't think that one was tipped.
Yeah, not liking the call there.
As evident by the timeout call. Really feel this one slipping away, although not out of reach. A 6-point deficit.
Definitely not out of reach. They just can't make these service errors that have really cost them so far in this one. They're 17th in the league when it comes to the amount of service errors. So right near the top. And for them, they just need to put the ball in play. And for Humber, they've been playing well all day. Just continue to do what you're doing. And you're only 4 points away from picking up this second set win.
Little Latin flavor as we come out of the timeout. Make a wish, Emma Heaney trying to put this game away. Hawks only need 4 more. Popped up by Wilkins, set up for Falcomer, kept alive. Schneider hits it up to Newen. Free ball here. Ooh, the block by the Humber front line. That was Miles and Falcomer, but drops out of bounds.
Some good back and forth here. Keeping it alive. That was a good play. Keeping it alive there from Rivest. A couple diving plays here. The Golden Shield's eventually coming up with a point.
Full credit to Jade Gauthier getting under that Falcomer shot. Ooh, good job by Sally Nguyen.
Sliding across there. Sally Nguyen sliding across and comes up with the point.
Here's Campana, number 9. With a long serve. Oh, it just catches the line. How about that, Kyle?
Yeah, had that little loft on it and just dropped it right on the line. Hawks 2 points away from going up 2-0.
Hawks looking for, oh, that time Campana switches it up.
And that's the creativity she shows.
Wow.
Just dropping it in after going the long distance. Her last serve out of the reach there of Labrache.
With a chance to put this one away. Golden Shield scrambling for it off the net. Schneider over to Miles. Big hit, and no doubt about it. Player of the game from yesterday's matchup, Danielle Miles, puts the second set away. Humberhawks win 25-16.
Yeah, we didn't see Miles in that first set, but she's came up big with a nice couple kills in that second set and picking up the set winner. Hawks win this one 25-16, back-to-back sets. They win this one 25-16 and are in full control of this one as Danielle Miles gets set up nicely and just drops it right in front of Gauthier.
And full credit to Gauthier. She's been playing lights out, especially in set number 2. Kept a lot of hard shots alive. But that time, too tall in order. Danielle Miles fully dialed in here this weekend. Playing some great volleyball. Hoping to keep that going as we head into there's Dean Wiley. And a good look at the Golden Shield bench, who have to be encouraged by that performance. Really were even Stevens. Good show, Family Channel, back in the day. But ultimately the Hawks pulling away at the end there.
Yeah, when it was in that 15-15 range, it was back and forth, really close. And Humber just going on that long run late in that second set to pick up the 25-16 win. And really are in full control of this one. As the Golden Shield are looking for some answers here.
Visiting team made the trip down from Sudbury. Having a good showing here. And moments from now, it's time for set number 3, and the Hawks looking to probably just close this one out. And see a big hit from Watson, Foley. Emma Heaney's been stellar tonight. Adina Wickstrom stepping up in place of the injured Kristonisic. Who could forget Danielle Miles ending the set with that shot right there.
The big hitters for Humber have stepped up in this one. Julia Watson, Danielle Miles played well so far. Dina Wickstrom, you mentioned her stepping up in place of the injured Kristonisic, and she has played well.
ready to go here. Short discussion with Kyla and the head official. And we're back in business here. OCAA women's volleyball, the third and potentially deciding set. Oh, checking into the game is Brandy Ferguson, third-year player from Sydney, Nova Scotia. Ferguson sets it up for, look like Nguyen.
Yeah, Sally Nguyen coming up with a big point there. Start this one off the block, and Ferguson just checking into this one, continues to serve.
Brandy. Good shot there. Hawks keep it alive. Nguyen, another shot. That's twice in a row. Nguyen hits it into the blockers, and it lands astray.
In that same spot. Comes up with another point. 2-0 lead early here in this third set. Hawks lead 2-0.
So Cambrian able to block Sally Nguyen, just not able to control it and redirect it where they need it to go. That time just kind of hangs on the net, and the point will go to the Humber Hawks.
Tough break there for the Golden Shields. That, like you mentioned, that ball just hung on the net. Fell right up back onto their side, so the Hawks still up 3-0 here. Cambrian looking for the first point of the third set.
And this is going all the way of the Humber Hawks. On fire here in set number 3.
Ferguson, 5 straight services so far to begin this third set.
Her first action all game. Good spin on that one. Big block by Humber, lands out of bounds. Whoop. Ball is hit long, and the point is given right back to Humber.
Yeah, not what Rivist was looking for. Number 7 for the Golden Shield. Giving the point right back. Sally Nguyen now serving, 5-1 lead.
That shot is blocked by Emma Heaney, but lands out of bounds. Point for the Golden Shield. Second look here. Great setup there by Cambrian.
And the point there for Beeson.
Humber scrambling to keep that one alive. And great shot there, no doubt about it. Emily Clark.
And Emily Clark leads her team in kills. Hasn't been much of a factor in this one, only 4 on the day.
Marissa Beeson. Great serve into play. Kept alive by Brandy. Shot there in favor of the Hawks.
Not just long. They're from Gauthier, number 6.
And Kyle, we have at the conclusion of this game, the Player of the Game awards. Who's your early vote here in the third set?
For me, I think it's got to be Emma Heaney. She's played well on both sides of the ball, coming up with some big kills and some good defensive plays too, but there's a few you can name as well. How about you, Matt? You got someone in mind, or?
You know, Julia Watson has been dynamite as usual. She's probably got more Player of the Game nominations than she knows what to do with. So I like Heaney. I think I'd give it to her. She's had a great performance. And obviously, a couple players banged up for the Hawks.
And Nguyen unable to handle that one. We've seen that a few times already in this set. Trying to get settled down here.
Serve coming up from Tegan Langus. Second-year player. Ferguson tees up to Watson. Big block. Official's going to say that one didn't make it over. Too many touches. And look at this, Kyle. After the Humber Hawks establish a 5-point lead, Cambrian fights back with a 5-1 run.
Yeah, 6 6-1 run for the Golden Shield. Not giving up here.
Good touch by Rosella Falcomer.
And in that run here, Hawks retake the lead 7-6.
Watson with the serve in the net. And that ball kind of bounced off the net and jammed the finger of Rosella Falcomer. She's trying to shake it off right now.
Stays in the game. Emily Clark serving for the Golden Shield.
Teed up here for Heaney. And the officials don't really know what to call here, and that is a tough one because it looked like Cambrian might have got a piece of that. And we have the luxury of a second look.
Get a better look here.
Yeah, I think you'd have to contend that the Golden Shield got their hands on that. Yep, the point does go in favor of the Humber Hawks. You got to think that's the right call here.
They seem to agree with you as well. It's 8-7 now as Emma Heaney, after coming up with a point, now at the service line.
Good shot by Gauthier. Ricochets off a Humber Hawk and into the crowd. 8-8. And so the Hawks, after a 3-set win against the Vipers last night from Boreal, looking to do the same thing here, but won't be easy.
After that 5-0 lead to begin this set, they only lead by 1 here.
And the Hawks are in a dogfight. Here's Rosella Falcomer. Teed up and kept alive here. Nguyen with the hit. Cambrian regrouping. Quick tip by Brandy Ferguson. Heads up play.
Yeah, smart play there from Ferguson, just dropping that one right in front of Gauthier. No chance. Hawks lead 10-8.
Falcomer with the serve, and that's going to be hit wide by the Golden Shield. The point to the Hawks. There's that second look as that sails out of bounds. We're live here in the Hawks Nest on the Hawks Sports Network. At the conclusion of this game, the Humber men's team taking on the Cambrian fellas. And looking forward to that matchup.
Erica Scott-Thomas will check in. She's now serving.
Put in play. Brandy Ferguson turning around. What a hit by number 11.
Spin move there, comes up with the point out of the reach of Gauthier. And Brandy Ferguson.
Just an interesting change of body position.
A little bit of a spin there.
And just a few points ago, she did a quick kind of redirect to catch the Golden Shield off guard. So real heads up, innovative thinking by number 11 here. And she puts the serve right in play. Sets it up now for Sally Nguyen. Cambrian with a chance. Watson, big hit. Still alive here. That is hit into the net. Probably should have had a whistle. I don't think anybody touched that one, Kyle.
It was pretty close. Ball stays alive. And after that controversial play there, the Hawks will still end up with the point.
Ball don't lie. And Wilkins, Coach Wilkins was not happy. He was saying, look, nobody touched that. And the Spice Girls rings through the Hawks Nest.
Timeout here for the Golden Shields. They're down by 4. It's been a back and forth one so far.
Yeah, it's a tight competition, but you know what we can all agree on is that this is probably one of the best Spice Girls songs ever produced.
It's definitely up there.
Both benches grooving right now. Humber's up by 4, and you see Coach Wilkins drawing up the play. Or maybe singing the words to the Spice Girls song. Not entirely sure. We can't say for sure.
Yeah, I think they are.
They're definitely singing.
They're definitely singing. I don't know if Chris Wilkins was.
Again, we can't be sure. We don't know.
It's 50-50.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. It's a toss-up for sure.
Ferguson puts the serve in play. And that is just out of bounds. That was really close, though.
As head coach Chris Wilkins looks on here. His team up by 3 in this third set.
Big shot. That was a tremendous serve right there from Isabel Revest.
Julia Watson breaks the block from the Golden Shield and picks up the point, 14-10, and Julia Watson has 5 kills.
Newen. Kept alive by Cambrian, flying into the bench, but ultimately will fall short. Good ace from number 3. Here she is again, up and in. Big hit. Sally tries to keep it alive, but it flies out of bounds. That was Emily Clark with the Golden Shield.
Good hit there from Clark, number 11, for the Golden Shield with the big hit. No chance there for Humber.
Sally pops it up. Heaney denied. 4 hits for Humber, and the point goes to the visiting team.
Back serving Marissa Beeson.
Marissa Beeson looking up at the clock. Watson, wow.
Perfect spot there, finding that back right corner.
That was vintage Julia Watson, second look, bada bing.
And she's so efficient going down there. She also pretty good at going cross court, to say the least.
Bada boom.
This time, she goes for that back right corner and nails it.
Dina Wickstrom. Oh, Falcomer. Good one-on-one battle right there between Rosella Falcomer and Emily Clark.
A couple mishits there for the Golden Shield. Not much Clark could have done with that one. And Falcomer going up with the block.
Wickstrom just slamming that thing. And it works out in her favor. Service ace, just finding that outside line.
And she's trying to go on another run here, but it's going to have to be cut short right now as the Golden Shield take another timeout here, trying to salvage this set and, of course, this game.
And as Humber has created some separation here, they're up by 6. Time and time again, we've seen the Hawks pull away later in the set and just find a way to close things out, looking to make this a three-set sweep.
Yeah, we saw that in the second set where it was really back and forth at the 15-point, 16-point mark. And really that's the same case here as the Hawks look to pull away even longer here, as once the timeout is over, Wickstrom will be serving. And she's been on a few runs so far in this game when it comes to the service line. And she'll hope to go on another one.
Dale Beausoleil, the coach of the Cambrian Shield, with his assistant coaches, Stephen Brown, Jonathan Hoadley, Kaylee Bastien and Kevin Wiseman. Wickstrom gonna get things started here. And that shot is hit long right to our BRTV camera guy. Looks like he's okay. Adina. Heads up play by Emma Heaney, although the Golden Shield find a way to keep it alive.
Beeson just keeping that one alive. A good block there from Gauthier.
Gautier's been looking good all game. Here she is with the big block just out of the reach of the Hawks. And that block sails out of bounds. Point for the Hawks.
Julia Watson doing what she does best, as Danielle Miles will come back into this one with Lauren Schneider.
As Watson and Ferguson will take a seat for the time being. And Humber hopefully looking to just wrap things up here with a nice little bow.
5 points away.
Good serve by Schneider. Big shot there from Gauthier is too long.
Emma Heaney checks out. Most likely for the final time if the Hawks can finish off this one. Solid game for her as Campana comes in.
Schneider pops it up. Wilkins now for Miles. Great shot. Danielle Miles getting it done once again. Riding off a great performance last night. The
Came
Hawks
up with some, sorry, Matt.
It's the Hawks like second game in about 15 hours. You know, real tight stretch here.
Danielle Miles coming up with some big points yesterday. She's doing the same today.
Hawks are 3 points away from putting this one away. And we have the men's teams warming up right beside us, Kyle. You can see there on the old exercise bike. And Wilkins doing her best to get under it, but service ace for the Shield.
Emily Clark with her 19th service ace of the year after that one. Just out of the reach of Wilkins.
Emily Clark has been great for the Shield all day, especially up front at the net. And another service ace.
Emily Clark trying to get her team back in this set. They're down by 6. She'll take that one for sure.
3 in a row.
Tough break there for Humber. That one just catching top of the net and dropping right in.
You know, in bowling, they call that a turkey. 3 in a row. Looking for a 4th service ace here.
Is that a quad?
I don't know. And Campana with a miscommunication.
Here a 4-0 run for Emily Clark and the Golden Shield.
All of a sudden, this game looking like it's in reach. Just a 4-point deficit. A lot of pressure on Emily Clark right now.
Exactly what they were looking for.
And she puts it long. 6'2" player in her 3rd year. Really the veteran presence on this team. And the Hawks now 2 points away. Gauthier. Once again, hit long. And just one more point needed.
Campana's going to look to end this one on the service line here. Don't let the Golden Shield get the ball back.
Campana Into the net. Now the Hawks are not going to win this one with the serve. Going to have to steal a point here. Gauthier. Schneider sets it up for Nguyen. Free ball. Wilkins to Nguyen once again.
A miss hit there from Nguyen. And the Golden Shield stay alive.
Gauthier looking to go on a bit of a run, just like her teammate. Falcomer is going to put this one away with an absolute missile.
Finds that left corner and drills it. And the Hawks don't let the Golden Shield come back and force a fourth set and take this one in
Tell you what,
straight sets victory.
Golden Shield were close. They really hung in there, looking like they might have pushed this game to a extra set, but the Hawks, the Lady Hawks at least, are able to put away both weekend games with a 3-set to love victory on back-to-back efforts. Kyle, now it's time for the Hawks Nation Player of the Game. How about that? Adina Wickstrom taking the nod, well-deserved, stepping in for the out of commission Alex Kristanisic, and just a great effort tonight from Wickstrom.
And she's starting in her second straight game, and she's taken this opportunity with Alex Kristanisic. You mentioned her out, and she's taken the opportunity with full arms and embracing it and coming up with some big points, and really a big key to the victory of both these wins in the last 2 days, less than 24 hours for the Humber Hawks.
And that's it here for the women's game. The fellas taking on the Cambrian Golden Shield coming up at 2 o'clock. Stay with us here on the Hawks Sports Network, and thank you for joining us.